what's going on, folks? Sorry for the different view tonight. It's really dark. I do have my light on, but it's obviously not real bright. Anyway, we're here to talk about some Buccos. We got our buddy, our buddy Rich right beside us. He's learned how to put pictures in the background now, and Rich, that's a good one, buddy.
Hey, I mean, you got to go with Pops, right?
Right? Um, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh man, yeah. Whenever we were backstage, you put your dad back there, and little memory to him. And then all of a sudden, I log you back on, and look, there it is, pops.
Yep. Yeah, Father's Day weekend, man. As we record this, it's June the 12th of 24. So, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. My dad, you and I talked about this before the show. He passed away a couple years ago in August. But happy Father's Day to all the dads out there.
Yes, happy Father's Day. I have three kids. I hope to see them. I don't really know them. I don't have much say in my. Anyway, anyway, I'm not getting into that. If I see them, I see them. I'll talk to them. I know that on the phone. Um. Anyway, Rich, I
Yes.
have I was gonna wait on this topic of conversation, but I wanted to show something real quick. I'm on my notebook, so I'm not on my usual shit tonight. And I
Okay.
want to show something in the overlay and see what you think of this. All right, I didn't talk to you about it backstage because I know you watch this and you follow things a little more closely than I do. I didn't watch the game yesterday, but tell me what you think. You got a good look at it?
A picture of Skeens walking off,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or the fact that the crowd gave him a standing ovation as he walked off the field.
That was a great moment. I felt in St. Louis. Um,
Well,
great.
yeah, of course. I mean, it's widely known that St. Louis baseball fans are some of the most knowledgeable baseball fans in the league, and they know good baseball when they see it. They know a really good performance when they see it, and the funny part is on the other side, Michaelis had a no hitter going into the seventh.
Yeah, that was a great. And we talk about the boring dueling matchups of 0-0, but that was a good pitching duel yesterday.
Absolutely, I'm if it's a good pitching duel, 1-0, 2-1, that kind of thing, I can be just as happy with that as I can a 9-8 game. And I'll tell you what, Skeens, you may have sold me. I really thought it was going to be Keller, but or Jones, but Skeens very possibly maybe making a trip to Arlington twice this year. Once
I
for the All-Star game and once when the Rangers or when the Pirates come to town.
Now, you're gonna go over to Dallas when the Pirates come down, right?
Oh, absolutely. I'm definitely going. It doesn't happen. It happens every like 8 years that they come here. So yes, I will be there for at least one of the games. Yes.
Nice, nice. Well, hopefully Skeens pitches down there and you get to see him.
That I've already started kind of figuring it out on the calendar, you know. Okay, if they go with this rotation, they got the and I figure there's a possibility the way it sits right now that I could get all three of them. I could get Keller, Skeens, and Jones in that series,
Are you gonna go
which
to
is
all?
bad news for the huh?
Are you gonna go to all three?
I hope so. I hope so. It just kind of depends on family obligations and that kind of stuff. But I hope so. It would be nice to.
You can't talk the wife into going for 3 games.
Oh, my wife loves baseball.
Well, what do you worry about? Get a hotel room, stay there for 4 days, and come home.
The only problem is both of us work, and it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday series.
Looks like it's time to take an extended weekend.
Hey, I'd be all for that. But yeah, I mean, her business, she works in insurance, and her busy time of the year starts about July 1st and goes to the end of the year. So that's right in the middle of her busy time. And of course, my stuff, I mean, radio ramps up those last 4 or 5 months of the year. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm able to, but I'm definitely going to be at least one. Never know. I might get lucky and be at all three, but I'll definitely be at least one.
right? Um, yeah, that'd be cool. Hopefully you get to see them, man. Hopefully.
Maybe we can record while I'm there.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I love it.
I do. Bringing that topic up, though, I do have a buddy of mine that has said he will come on the week before the series, talk about the series and all that. Is a buddy of mine that is part of the play-by-play team for the Rangers.
I love it. I love it, man. Man. Yeah, I got this no, it looks like I'm opening my gun case, but I'm not. I got this I don't know if you can I guess not, huh? It's like a little thing, it's like a little microphone that goes into your phone,
Uh-huh.
and then it has two clips that clip on here, and you could do you could do a show on those traveling
Yeah,
kit.
yeah. I have one for my phone that I use, and when I was doing, you know how sometimes they, if you're listening to the national networks and they'll have updates from different people at different games throughout the country and all that. I
Yeah,
did that for a little while for CBS and for the Baylor games when Baylor was really good, and so I have something very similar to that I'm able to use through my phone.
I got it on eBay for $11.
Nice,
So I was
very
excited.
nice.
I can log
Yeah,
on
I
streaming
would
on
be.
my phone. So yeah, yeah, we can definitely work something out where you can go live. So I mean, even out, I could maybe even be at the control tower here, and you'd be live at the game.
Sure, sound like a plan to me.
We could do it. We'll work something out. Obviously, talking it.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
turned off the background.
Yes, I got to figure out how to make it not look like the weatherman in front of the green screen.
You need a green. You need one of them green things behind you.
I'll have to find a green blanket somewhere or something. I'm sure one of my girls got 87 colors of everything, so I'm sure one of my four girls has something that I can use.
So, but yeah. Anyway, Rich, great game yesterday. I'm glad they got the win. Obviously we didn't put up the runs like normal when Skeens pitches, but it was still great to watch. Well, I listened. Who was it? Greg Brown, I believe, was on the radio yesterday.
Yeah. Here's a little interesting thing for you. The Pirates are 16 and 17 at home and 16 and 17 on the road going into tonight.
Really?
And they're 13 and 10 against 500 teams or better. The best record in the NL Central, by the way. And there's only four teams in the National League over 500 right now.
Really?
Milwaukee, Philly, the Dodgers, and the Padres are the only four teams in the National League over 500. The Giants are one under. The Diamondbacks are three under. The Pirates are two under. The Cubs are three under. The Reds are three under, and the Cardinals are three under.
I did
Once you
not.
get past the Brewers, the entire Central Division of the National League is a half game apart.
I'm looking now because I didn't look that in depth. Sorry, Rich. I've been I've
No,
been,
that's
I've been crazy all week. So
and the Pirates sit today one half game out of the playoffs behind the Giants. But we were talking last week
Giants
on
were
our do what?
Giants were winning today. I don't know what the final was though.
We're losing 4-1 in the top of the sixth.
I was talking about the Giants.
Oh, the Giants.
Giants are winning.
Giants. I think they won today.
They played Houston.
No, yeah, they did win today. Because I watched part of that game. It's one of the luxuries of having the job that I do.
When you get MLB Network,
Uh-huh. I have it on just to my right all the time. That or wrestling, one or the other.
right? Can't beat that.
By the way, a football game broke out in Minnesota today.
I saw that.
17-9. That's insane. But where in the world? There it is, 5-3 Giants. So that record does include the win against the Giants today. So if the Pirates can win tonight or pull this thing out tonight, then they'll be tied with the Giants for that last wild card spot.
Nice. Okay.
They better get on the they better get on the roll if they're going to do it because top 6 and they're losing.
Whew. Sorry. All right. So, Rich, what? Oh my gosh. Go ahead. I'm letting you run the show tonight. I'm just gonna be a guest. Like I said, Rich, I have I don't even want to get into everything that's going on in my little world today.
No problem. No problem at all. Well, I mean, I know there's some stuff that we had talked with the listeners here recently, and I wanted to. The more I was looking at it, I was like, that we really do need to talk about this. We talked last week about the Pirates' schedule, you know, and what they needed to do in the month of June to make things happen, right?
Right.
Well,
They're
it's
doing it.
going right along the pace that we were talking about.
Yes, it is.
We said they needed to take 2 out of 3 from Minnesota, and they did. They won the first game of the series against St. Louis. So even if they lose tonight, if they win tomorrow afternoon, by the way, afternoon game against the Cardinals tomorrow, 2:15 first pitch on the East Coast. But
What's that?
they're doing what they needed to do this month. They split with the Blue Jays the first 2 games of the month, took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers, 2 out of 3 from the Twins. If they can take 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals and just keep rolling and rolling and rolling, um, this they could go into the All-Star break giving Milwaukee a little bit of a run because Milwaukee's playing extremely well right now. Um, their pitching is really doing good things. Jackson Churio, the rookie outfielder, is coming back around. He did really well right out of the box, and then he hit a slump. Willie Adames is knocking the cover off the ball. Christian Yelich is back to Christian Yelich.
Yeah, he had a
Um, you know,
really good game today.
yeah, he had a couple of years there where he was just hurt every time he turned around. And he's healthy now, which makes a huge difference. And that Brewers team is pretty solid, even with losing Josh Hader and Corbin Burns to free agency. That's still a pretty good team out there.
I like it. I like Adamas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
That's
good ball player there. And I'll tell you what, probably an underrated guy on that team right now. He was I think he was a pretty under the radar pickup because he was coming off of a really bad injury. Was Reese Hoskins? Hoskins performed really well in Philly, and then when he blew his ACL, and it was his contract year when he did it, that wasn't a really good sign. But then Milwaukee picked him up, and he's doing real well for them too. He might possibly slide into an All-Star game.
well, he had the day off today.
They did.
Did you see his return to Philly? The nice standing ovation, little video and stuff for him. I thought that was
Yeah.
a lot of teams do that nowadays. That's why it's hard to have the rivalries like we used to have, and it makes it really difficult to not know there's gonna be a fight. Like it's like NASCAR, you know?
Right. I mean, the Dodgers did that last night for Corey Seager. It was his first game back in LA since he was with them when they won the World Series in 20. And they did a real nice video tribute for him and that kind of deal. But funny part is, you know where the World Series was played?
I know. It was the COVID year.
But where was it played?
It was played at the new ballpark.
Yeah, it was in Arlington, Texas, at Globe Life Field. So he's won 2 World Series at that stadium. Little useless trivia there.
Um, yeah. Like I said, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Corey Seager, Trey Turner, good shortstop, just all around. Two of my favorites.
Yeah.
Now,
I just wish Trey Turner would quit getting hurt.
you sound like the Red Sox right now.
There's another one, Trevor Story. Oh my gosh.
What a nightmare! Unbelievable.
I
Unbelievable
mean,
how he does that.
it's Red Sox shortstops in general. Think about it. The back part of Nomar's career
Hurt.
goes into Bogarts, who got hurt pretty regularly. They let Bogarts go. They bring in Trevor Story.
Boom. He was injured. Wasn't he injured before he? Well, I mean, he was always injured. He seemed to even got injured in Colorado.
He was. But it's just bananas that shortstop position in Boston, you can't keep a guy healthy at that spot. You just can't. And I don't understand what is. And think about it too. In Colorado, it's the same thing. You had Tulo, who could never stay healthy. And what do? They let Tulo go. Who'd they bring in? Trevor Story. And like you said, Trevor Story was getting hurt. It's it's just crazy the way stuff like that happens sometimes, where you get a guy or a position on a team and they can't keep that position healthy to save their lives. Pitching's a whole different discussion. Pitchers are going to get hurt. But I saw a thing the other day. I wanted to ask you about this because it kind of goes back to something you and I talked about, I believe, a week or two ago. If Derek Jeter does not have 3,000 hits, is he a Hall of Famer?
I'd say yes. He's got rings. He was their captain. He didn't need 3,000 hits.
You think he was a Hall of Famer without it?
I
Okay.
do. I do.
Okay.
I feel World Series is speak. Just like I feel Hines Ward is a Hall of Fame wide receiver too.
Oh yeah. Well, on number of catches alone.
He played the game.
Well, he did, but when it goes, and I'm not going to go back on my theory of it's not Hall of Very Good, it's Hall of Fame. But I also play within the parameters of the game. And if you're putting 7 guys in every year, no matter what happens, I have a very hard time not seeing Hines Ward in there already.
You think they're gonna wait for Ben and let them two walk in together?
That's a good question. Which
The,
leads to which kind of forks off into another question of, is Ben a first ballot Hall of Famer?
I think he is.
They might do that. I don't know. But do you think Ben's first ballot?
I think he is.
I think so too.
I think that's why. I honestly think that's why Brady came back and played one more year.
So he didn't go in the same year?
Yeah, because Canton would have been a mess. You would have had Patriots fans and Steeler fans in the same area trying to get along.
Well, they'd have had a good time trying to do that.
I'm just saying, it's not pretty. I was there.
No, you're right.
I was there for Cower and Palomalu and Art Shell.
Nice.
Um,
Never been to Canton.
and then I went back later, a couple years later. I went to the USFL Championship in Canton too for the Maulers and the Stallions. Which congratulations to the Stallions, they are playing for the UFL Championship now next week.
Yeah, against the Brahmas.
My buddy Luke, who I became friends with, pretty good friends with over the year doing USFL talk. But then once we lost the Maulers, I watched it, but I wasn't as into it.
Yeah.
But I did get to meet him in Canton. We all met up. We had a good
Oh,
time.
that's neat. That's neat. Yeah, the Renegades out of Arlington, they won the XFL championship last year, and yeah, they didn't do quite as well this year. They got into the playoffs, but it was you know getting smoked right out of the chute.
Right. Even I was surprised St. Louis lost.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I didn't watch a ton of it, but I saw enough to know who was really good. And St. Louis is one of those teams. St. Louis, Birmingham, San Antonio. You know, it was the teams you kind of expected to be at the top that turned out to be in the top. But I guess that's what happens when you have 12 teams
Eight,
instead of 30,
eight.
32, sorry.
We have 8 teams. There's 4 and 4, Rich. Eight teams. 4 from the
8
USFL.
teams.
4 from the X.
Sorry. Brain lock, sorry. I told you I don't watch that much of it.
I tried. I watched what I could when I got home from work. Um, Holy crap! I gotta stop saying I sound like Tomlin. Go ahead. Go ahead. Rub that in my face for a while. Go ahead. I know you want to.
Say again?
I know you want to rub it in my face.
About?
The Steelers just signed up for 3 more years of mediocrity football.
They did not sign up 3 more years of mediocre football. Come on now.
They did. I mean, I have as many season winning trophies as the Steelers in the past 11 years.
It's okay.
It's not okay. He's turned this city into the city of it's okay to be mediocre.
No. You don't make the playoffs if you're mediocre in the NFL. You don't
You
no.
also aren't
Here
happy about 500 football.
huh?
You also shouldn't be like cheering and breaking a bridge because you went 500. That's not nothing to be proud of. Maybe for yourself, but it's not good for the team.
Oh,
It's not good.
valid point. It's a valid point, but I do like and you got to go with me on this one. He had a trash offensive coordinator the last few years. Matt Canada is a waste of prime natural resources. Come on.
Okay, well he couldn't fire the garbage he hired.
I don't
He brought
Tomlin doesn't have general manager next to his name.
Canada in.
Huh?
Tomlin brought Canada in. That was his project.
That didn't mean he couldn't get fired.
But he had a major say.
All I know is
They
if
kept Canada to try and like recover to make Tomlin look good.
well, the biggest thing that I know is that Arthur Smith, to me, is the absolute example of the Peter principle. Just like, um, yeah, Zimmer from the Cowboys, just like Josh McDaniels. You reach the point, you advance to the point of incompetency. As a coordinator, extremely good. As a head coach, trash. Line forms right over there. But if Arthur Smith, he did really good things with that offense in Tennessee with a average quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. He's going to have a pretty good quarterback, whether it's Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. If he can do the kind of things offensively for the Steelers that he did for Tennessee, and the defense for the black and gold does what it's done, like it always does, This could be a fun season. I mean, yes, we've got a horrific schedule. If you look at the schedule, I believe it's the second toughest schedule in the NFL. Because you got to remember, Steelers play their own division, of course, play the NFC East and the AFC West, if I remember correctly. Is that correct?
Um,
AFC West?
7-2 up until week 9 or week 10, and then we go into the brutal.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go into the brutal stretch where we could end up finishing 7-9.
Okay, we're not finishing 7-9.
I'm not saying we're
There,
going
we're not.
to, but that 3-game stretch from December 15th to December 25th, that's going to be brutal.
Oh, there's no question of that.
And
I have never doubted that.
then you get 10 days off to play either Monday night or no meaning football on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, but you're right. I mean, when you go Eagles, Ravens on the road, Chiefs at home, that's no bueno, man. But I mean, the Falcons are not terrible. I mean, should they win? Yes. But the Falcons aren't terrible. The Colts are pretty good. The Cowboys are trash. The Jets are going to be pretty good if Rodgers is their quarterback. The Raiders are pretty decent. Um, even that 7-2 run that we were talking about for the first 9 games, it's not going to be all walks in the park. This schedule, if they can get into the playoffs are going to seem like, okay, no big deal because we just got through doing 17 weeks of this stuff. I've still got us going 10-7.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure we're going to go over predictions later. I'm sure we'll have a nice round table for that show. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we'll go 7-9, but I mean, there's an ugly chance.
I really can't in any possible way see us any worse than 1-2 in that 10-day stretch. Do I see us going 3-0? Probably not. It's either going to be 1-2 or 2-1. You agree with that?
I think I mean, it's going to be one of the two. It's not like we're going to lose all three, but we always could too.
I don't think we win all three either. I
I mean, we
mean,
still don't have any clue what this wide receiver core is going to look like, and that scares a lot of people.
it does, but I'm still in the back of my mind, I'm still seeing some way, shape, or form that a certain wide receiver from the West Coast that wears 11 ends up in a Steelers uniform.
They just signed the extension.
Doesn't mean they can't trade him.
Yeah,
Just like in the
I don't think
just
they
like in the
own.
NBA, sign and trade.
Did you see that Justin Jefferson was on the trade block for the draft?
Yeah, but
I
they
was like,
wanted the moon, the stars, and 3 galaxies.
and teams would have given it.
Would you have given it for the Steelers?
Over what we have, yes.
If they said we want your entire draft this year and your next 2 firsts for Justin Jefferson, would you have done it?
Holes to fill or wide receiver spot to fill with two decent quarterbacks coming in. The whole draft? I mean, what do we have? 6 picks.
7, I think. I mean, the biggest thing I'm looking at is just the simple premise that um when I sit there and look at it, it's one guy. And you're going to give up 3 firsts and the rest of one whole draft for one guy, and that's A, not a quarterback, and B, going to be playing in a division where he's going to get his brains beat in. I wouldn't have gone that far. Would I have made a good offer? Sure. Would I have gone 2 1s? Yeah. 2 1s and 2 2s? Okay. I wouldn't have mortgaged the farm on that. But the other part that you got to look at too, when you think about the Steelers and their receiving core, it's kind of getting back to what it was before, where they had okay outside receivers, but they're going to be good in the slot. They're going to be good at tight end, and they've got running backs that can catch. Now, I'm not saying Jalen Warren is Le'Veon Bell by any stretch of the imagination. Please don't think that.
Right.
Freiermuth, equivalent to Heath Miller? Possibly. Very close. Very, very close. I just think that that's going to be the kind of thing that when you're looking at those outside receivers right this second, you're going to have to depend on the slot and the tight ends, and not as much on the outside receivers.
Yeah, these wide receivers scared the living piss out of me. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. They just
Yeah,
they
I'm
just
not. I'm not confident in them. I'm not confident at all. But here's one thing I am. I know that the Steelers football and Adams and Arthur Smith football is turned to is turning to the running game. He had Derrick Henry. He's got two backs here. And that's why I really feel confident about this offense, because it, and follow the trail on this one. And I'm going to compare this to the Cowboys. When Tony Romo was in there, if he threw the ball 25 times or less, piece of cake, they were winning ball games. When he had to throw it 30, 35, 40 times, sorry, Dak Prescott. If Dak Prescott has to throw the ball 25 times or less, Cowboys are winning football games
right.
because they're running the ball and that kind of stuff. If Fields or Wilson throw the ball less than 25 times a game, I have zero doubt in my mind that offense is going to put some numbers up.
Right. All right. All right. Well, I know we're gonna have our Steeler talk later. I'm trying to get the us to talk with the Steeler Realm. We're gonna have a Pittsburgh show. The Steelers Realm podcast. You'll like them guys, Rich.
Nice.
Me and JT, we talk there and there. He's got a new shift, so we don't talk as much anymore. But if it comes to doing a show, we can go on their show, or we can have them come on here. Um, it don't matter to me. They're good guys, so I think you'll really enjoy talking to them.
Sounds great.
But yeah, whenever we get closer to Steeler time, that's whenever you know. But I mean, I can set things up to see if we can do a Wednesday, because their show is Thursday, and that's date night.
Yeah,
Actually,
I
it
mean,
might not
but
be you being balled up here and unfortunately getting the surgery for the cast.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a drag that I got to get this. Well, it's not a surgery thing. It's just getting the cast put on so I don't put any pressure on it. It's a injury I've had for a while, and it's just a matter of getting it to heal up and not putting any pressure on it at all. If it was any place else on my body, it would be fine because it wouldn't have the pressure of having it on your heel. So that's where that lays. But all that to say, you do make sense that I might be able to do it that way. Just let me know. Just let me
Um,
know. But
okay. I also have shitty news about my foot. I was born with a club foot as a kid,
okay.
and whenever I was born, they don't do what they do now. They just cut the heel and put the cast on, put some bandages on to stop the bleeding, put the foot back in place. So I guess with all the operations I have, I do not have a joint anymore from my leg bone to my ankle bone, and it is like welding together.
Ooh,
Yeah, it feels lovely at points sometimes.
I can only imagine. Yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, man.
Yeah, it's not good. But anyway, I still walk on it. I'm still moving it, so I just
Yeah.
question it now. Whenever I go to stretch it, am I gonna pop the bone? Oh, I'm in good spirit about it. I got to get it. I got to see what I can do. See if there's any. I got cortisone shots lined up. So yeah,
So there you go. Well, going back to the Pirates, we were talking last week a little bit, and I did some research on this about this team comparing them to the early 90s team that was making the playoffs, making some playoff runs, that kind of thing. And I think you would be kind of surprised about the similarities as far as where players came from, as far as um, when they came to the team, things of that nature. Because when you look at the team from 91, okay, starting lineup, you're looking at Lavalier and Merced, Chico Lean, Jay Bell, Jeff King, of course, Bonds, Van Slyke, Bonilla.
wait, how far? Where are we going?
You're,
Because Jay
huh?
Bell came in what year? 90.
Jay Bell came in 90.
Because we had Rafael
Bonds came in
Yarn,
87.
right? So in '87, I just want to recap things real quick. We finished in fourth place with
Okay.
80 wins, which we know 80 wins nowadays might clinch the division.
Or at
So
least get you in the playoffs.
so in '87, the Pirates finished in fourth with 87 wins, and they almost carried the same team into '88, where they finished
Right.
second. I'm thinking they finished behind the Reds
Yep.
because they had Chris Sabo, Barry Larkin, um, George Foster. They had the mighty crew down there, as we now know them as the Big Red Machines. The pitching staff was unreal, but the
Yeah,
Pirates
they
had
lost to the Dodgers in the championship series.
but the Pirates also had a core pitching staff getting well developed. And
Mm-hmm.
we had Drebeck, Smiley, and who was the number two guy? Oh my gosh, I can't think of him.
Well, yeah, Zane Smith, who they got from the Braves.
I'm talking '87.
Um,
This is when that core came together.
oh, Bob Walk.
Bob Walk, yes. So we had 34, 17, and then 57, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that core started in '87 too.
Yep.
So this whole core of a team started pretty much growing together in '87. You had Bonilla,
Mm-hmm.
you had Bond, you had Van Slyke, you had um, obviously you had Michael Valier, you had Junior
Well,
Ortiz. I believe he was the backup catcher then. Even though looked like we carried three catchers on the roster. I don't know if you caught eye of that or not. Most teams
well,
don't.
yeah, you usually had three on the roster, but one of them was a utility guy that was also just happened to be a catcher.
Junior Ortiz, and who was the other catcher? Oh my god.
I'm trying to remember what did
We had Spanky, we had Junior Ortiz.
was Slot was still with the Rangers then, if I remember right.
I think it was Don Slot. I think he was in Pittsburgh then.
It was either Slot or Prince, one or the other.
Prince, that's who we had.
Tom
Sorry.
Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking Slot was in Texas until like 90. And then he got traded to the Pirates. Because if I remember correctly, Slot And no, I'm sorry, Slot and Curtis Wilkerson were in the same trade, and I'm trying to remember who the Rangers got for that because the Rangers and Pirates made two deals. We traded Steve Bouchel. The Rangers traded Bouchel to the Pirates. Then they turned around and traded Curtis Wilkerson and Don Slott to the Pirates. I'm trying to remember who the Rangers got in those deals.
I
I
forgot all
should
about
know that.
Johnny Ray. 87.
Johnny Ray, yeah,
Not,
yeah, but
he was on the
he
bench.
was on the downhill.
Yeah, because Chico was on the bench and he came and played in '88 as the starter. So I guess Johnny
Right.
Ray's year was '87.
Yeah, J Ray was really good for about 4 or 5 years, and then he just kind of faded away into the sunset.
I was always a Gary Reedus fan. He was that
Reedus
utility.
wasn't bad.
He was that utility guy. He could catch. He could play right field, first base.
Yeah.
Those were the three positions we really needed.
Right. And you got to remember and that's another part of this 91 team that I'm talking about. And I realize we're moving ahead a couple of years. But think about all the guys that either became coaches or have become like that were instructional type guys, whether they become analysts or whatever. You had Lavalier, you had Jay Bell, you had Don Slott, you had Gary Varsho, you had Lloyd McClendon, Steve Bouchel, John Wayner, Cecil Espy, um, all these guys, and that's just on position players. Then you get into the Bob Walks and the Neil Heatons and the Roger Masons, who became a analyst for the Indians for like 20 years. Um, all these guys that were students of the game and were fundamental. They weren't Bonds, they weren't Bonilla, they weren't stars, but they were solid ball players that made a difference. And Henry Davis goes deep for the Pirates.
It's good to hear that bat finally waking up.
4-2 now, bottom of the eighth
Top of the eighth.
for the Buccos, trailing the Cardinals.
Can't win them all, buddy.
Nah, I think we've talked about that old Tommy Lasorda thing.
I think
You win 54, you lose 54. It's what you do in the other 54 that makes a difference.
you talk about Lloyd McClendon. You just brought that name up.
Uh huh.
How about them two, Tony La Russa and Lloyd McClendon? That was the matchup.
Yeah.
Those two hated each other.
Yeah. And, McClendon was a fireball, man.
Love McClendon. When he picked up first base, when he stole first base.
Hmm. But you look at that 87 team you were talking about, and they morph into the 91 team.
Okay, and it's
Okay.
all pretty much all there. Okay, all the glue
Huh?
pieces, all the glue pieces are there, except
Right.
for the only two that looked like got added was Jeff King and Orlando Merced, who played first, and Jeff
Right.
King played third. But
But one other thing I want you to look at with that, okay? How many of those guys are homegrown guys?
was
Not
Bonilla
very many.
not there in '91?
Bonilla was there in 91.
I'm looking at the roster. He's not on it.
No, I'm looking at it right now. He's right here.
You got
He's
Mike
right
Trout,
field.
Orlando
Because it
Merced.
was Bonds in left, Van Slyke in center, and Bonilla in right.
Oh, Bonilla
But
went to outfield. I'm sorry.
yeah.
My
But Bonds and Bonilla were homegrown. Jeff King was homegrown. Um, John Wayner was homegrown. And that pretty much concludes our portion of the program on homegrown players on that squad. You got Draybeck from the Yankees. You got John Smiley from the Cardinals. Yeah, you got Bob Walk from any coordinated pile of teams that he played for. You got Slot from the Rangers. You got Varsho from the Cubs. You got Reedus from the Reds.
Was
All
Jose
these guys. Tom Prince. Tom Prince was homegrown.
was Jose Lena homegrown?
Jose Chico Lean was homegrown.
Oh,
Um,
looking into that, I didn't know that. Oh,
uh,
I gotta show you my jersey, huh?
what's that? Oh, you're Chico Lean.
Yeah, I have no idea. I should have brought it out, but I don't think it's out here. As everyone can tell, my room is a mess today. My studio is a little off the wall.
But
But
I
I
we bring
bring
all
all
we bring
we
this
bring
up to say this: the team that you had for the Pirates in 2021, coming into 2024, okay. 2021, you're going with Jacob Stallings behind the plate, Colin Moran at first, Frazier at second, Newman at short, Cabrian Hayes at third, Ben Hamill in left, Reynolds in right, Reynolds in center, Polanco in right. Your bench is a bunch of guys that nobody's ever heard of, or they heard of them for a minute and ain't heard from them since,
So
except Todd Frazier
we jump in the 14
and a shortstop named O'Neill Cruz
in 14,
in 21.
21. Okay, we're looking at the 2021 lineup right now.
Yeah, we're going 21 to 24 because we're looking at the same basic time frame.
Okay, I just
So O'Neill Cruz played a whopping 2 games that year. Your pitching staff was Mitch Keller, or your rotation. You had Mitch Keller, JT Brubaker, Chad Kuhl, Stephen Brault,
yeah,
and who was your 5? Trying to remember.
wasn't it Tyler Anderson?
Possibly, yeah. Then in your bullpen, you had Rosny Contreras and Richard Rodriguez and Clay Holmes and guys like that. And then there's a 26-year-old guy from Pittsburgh named David Bednar.
It was
When you
both.
look at this team now, and those guys, not very many of those guys again were homegrown. Cabrian Hayes was, Reynolds was, and a lot of them either haven't ever been heard from since Adam Frazier won that batting title for the Pirates. What has he done? Not a freaking thing. And he won it in 2021, hitting 324.
He's playing somewhere still. I know this.
I think he's in Seattle, but he's not. I mean, I think he's hitting about 270.
I had him on my DFS because I think he was like a low key top of the lineup guy for like 2,200 or something.
Yeah. But transfer yourself to 2024. Because if you remember in 2021, that was during that time that McCutchen wasn't there. So you bring in a McCutchen. 2024, you're looking at Davis, Tellez, Triolo, Cruz, Hayes, Reynolds, Michael Taylor, Edward Olivares, Andrew McCutchen. So you've got Cruz, you've got Hayes, you've got Reynolds that were a part of this team whenever they were losing 100 games. You've got Mitch Keller, who was a part of this team. You have Bednar, who was a part of this team when they were losing 100 games. But you also have other guys that have come up through the system, like a Henry Davis, like a Jared Triolo, like a Jack Sawinski and Nick Gonzalez, to go along with veterans like a Yasmani Grandal and a Connor Joe, and even a Rowdy Tellez, as much as people want to give Tellez grief, you're in your position players. But your pitching staff, Skeens, obviously homegrown. Jones, obviously homegrown. You've got Keller, who was homegrown. You bring Falter in from Philadelphia, who to me has done a fine job. I don't have any major problems with what Falter has done. Quinn
No,
Priester, he's on the injured list right now, but Quinn Priester, he's 0-5, yes. He's gotten zero run support when he's out there. You know, the fifth starter is kind of shaky at best at the moment, but that's okay. You know, you've got Martin Perez also, who's on the injured list that hopefully will be coming off here soon. But you've got Bednar in the bullpen. And then you've got Chapman out there, who is an experienced guy you brought in from the Rangers, who knows how to win championships. A lot, and Rosny Contreras is out there. You know, you Holderman. If I remember right, Holderman is a homegrown guy, right? I think
What year are we on? 22?
24.
Oh, we're now. I was on
Yeah,
22. I thought we were looking through the
yeah.
year.
Oh yeah, I'm comparing 21 to this year. Holderman, no, he played for Toronto. Or no, he played for the Mets before he came here. So we got him from the Mets. But I say this to say there are a lot of similarities between those two teams where you've got those guys that are going to be your foundation. And that 91, I mean, we talk about one play making a difference, in that 18 inning game and all that kind of stuff. You talk about one play making a difference. The fact that Bonds couldn't throw Sid Bream out at the plate, and I realize that's one play, but it's the play that put Braves into the National League Championship Series instead of the Pirates, or into the World Series instead of the Pirates.
Do you think we would have beaten Minnesota that year?
I think so.
Because I mean that game 7 between Smoltz and Morris was unbelievable. They
It
pitched
was.
all 9. They pitched all 9, and they were still ready to go. I mean, you wouldn't even hear about that nowadays.
Oh heck no.
I mean, yeah,
And I still don't understand why you don't. But yeah, I mean, those two guys pitched their brains out, and it was one of the best games I've ever seen.
that was
Honestly, one of the best games I've ever seen.
um that was funny. That was like John Smoltz grew up watching Jack Morris pitch, and he idolized him, and he got to go against him in
Yeah.
Game 7 of the World Series. No bigger
Yep.
moment for that guy right there than that moment.
Yeah, you're right.
As a
But
personal
I
note,
mean,
I'm sure as like a team note, winning.
but if Bream, and I realize what if. If Bream gets thrown out, Pirates win in extra innings. I think it's an entirely different run for Pittsburgh over the next 5-6 years. Even to the point, and really follow me on this one, even to the point Bonds may not have left.
I think he wants
And
to go.
if Bonds does everything in Pittsburgh that he did in San Francisco, plus what he had already done,
What did he leave here at 192, 192 home runs when he left? I believe that's what he had, or 196, one of the two numbers, I believe.
yeah, it was right around 200. But he had 3 MVP awards in his pocket. Um,
I don't think he was staying here. And
I don't know. Let's see.
even if he would have he followed? I mean, him and Leland became close after the argument. Might have he went to even Florida?
Maybe, but I think that if he would have had the chance to play for a winning Pittsburgh team that he was a part of from day one, I don't think Leland leaves. But if you could have that, yeah, I think that the Pirates have the success that the Braves ended up having, where they were in what, 5 World Series in the 90s? 4 or 5? Win one. They were constantly, they won the division every year but one.
They won the division for like what 19 years in a row or something, didn't they? It was
Yeah,
an
I think it was.
it was an
Yeah, it was something in the teens.
it was an unbelievable number. Bobby Cox might be one of the best managers ever.
Right, but I think you talk about Leland's Pirates instead of talking about Cox's Braves. And I think you talk about a Bobby Bonilla who doesn't want to get out of Pittsburgh, and an Andy Van Slyke who gets reinvigorated and spends another 2 or 3 years playing at the top of his game, which the top of his game, pretty damn good. I mean, a lot of people kind of blow off Andy Van Slyke. He was one of the premier center fielders in baseball for a while.
Absolutely. Well, he's overshadowed Rich too by Ken Griffey Jr.
He was. He was.
I mean, you want to talk
But
about
well, and Ken Griffey Jr., let's be perfectly honest, Ken Griffey Jr., top 10 player of the last 50 years.
one of my favorites. So
Me too. One of the sweetest swings ever. I don't care who, when, where. One of the sweetest swings of all time.
never seen anything better. I'll share. I saw something today, Rich. You'll enjoy. I didn't have a chance to upload it on the StreamYard, but it's an overhead view of Ken Griffey's swing.
I saw that.
You saw that? Okay, so we both
I
followed
did.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
I forget what it's one of the baseball classics or something like that.
Yeah. Bonds was just below 200 bombs when he left Pittsburgh. But I mean, I think the future of the Pirates dramatically changes if that play doesn't happen. Now, looking at this team right now, okay, you've got a group of guys that can grow together. Because even looking at their ages right now, okay, you've got, Davis is 24, Triolo's 26, Cruz is 25, Hayes 27, Reynolds is the old man at 29, Oliveris is 28, Sawinski's 25, Gonzalez is 25, um, Fleming is 28. I'm sorry, Keller is 28, Skeens is 22, Priester is 23, Jared Jones is 22. Bailey Falter is 27. And Bednar is 29. Ain't a 30-year-old in the bunch. Now it comes down to our good friend Nutting paying some of these guys that he doesn't have as long of control with, paying some of these guys like he did Reynolds and Hayes, and keeping this group, because that right there, I firmly believe, is a core of a winning ball club. Thoughts?
Um, okay, so the expansion of playoffs is keeping us alive. If it wasn't
No
for the
doubt.
if it wasn't for the expansion of playoffs, we'd be in last place.
No, we'd be in second. We're in second right now.
When did I looked the other day? It said we were in dead last.
We're in second in the division right now. 7 games behind Milwaukee, a half game ahead of the rest of the division.
So this division's a mess. That's not what I have.
Well, okay, wait a minute. It updated with that loss they just finished off with. What are you showing?
Fourth, with the Cardinals a game behind us.
Okay.
So I mean, obviously, it's a neck and neck between second and last place.
Exactly. I mean, there's a half game separating second and last. So, even when you're looking at this, it's still it's a matter of, and I got to look at this, because when you sit and look at it, yes, the expansion of the playoffs, you're exactly right, has made a difference, because even at that, you're 7 games out. You're 7 games out of second place. That's what you've got as of right this second with that loss against St. Louis.
That's the wild card.
No, that's the division. You're 7.5 behind Milwaukee. You're a half game behind the Cubs, the Reds, and the Cardinals. So they win tomorrow afternoon. They go back into second place. But when you look at the wild card, now they're a full game out. But even at that, a full game out, they've shown they can compete with the Dodgers.
We always do good against the Dodgers, though.
But who's the best team in the National League right now? Philly and the Dodgers, right?
I was gonna say Philly. I really was. As
Yeah.
much as I hate saying that, like pinch me. Did I really say that? I did. But
Philly and the Dodgers are the 2 best teams. The Braves are very good. I don't think their pitching is strong enough to get them where they want to go this year, simply because of injuries. But be that as it is, you take Philly and you take the Dodgers out of the picture, it's kind of a throw it all up in the air kind of a thing. And then it becomes all you get in. The Rangers did that last year. So did Arizona. All you got to do is get in. You get hot at the right time, you get in. And I'm sorry, if I'm going into a 5 or a 7 game series and I'm throwing Paul Skeens, Jared Jones, and Mitch Keller, I'm happy.
yeah, I'm feeling good about that.
I'm feeling super good about that. And whether your fourth is Perez or Falter, I don't care. Fine. I'm feeling really good about that. So, but all of that, all the research and all that to say, this team has the ability, I think, has the core to have the ability to be a really good team, to be a team that can sustain winning for a while, especially if they can bring in a free agent or two, which is the key question. And I don't mean Rowdy Tellez and Yasmani Grandal.
No, no, no. I don't. They're here for catching purposes.
Yeah, I mean, if they bring in like we talked about last week, Ryan O'Hearn or somebody like that, I'm not saying they got to spend Pete Alonso money. They don't have to spend Marcus Semien and Corey Seager money like the Rangers did.
Be nice.
But
But
and see, I got us to an hour.
see that you did good.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't know. I think we're gonna see a lot more on the rumor mill coming out. Um, for trades. I mean, obviously we're not out of it, but we're really close to being out of it. we're on
I
the line.
don't.
We're on the line. We're on that line, Rich. It all depends if they make that one move at the deadline or they don't.
Right, because you're 3 games under 500.
Because all of a sudden
There
they got
are
being sellers, and this whole year could be a waste. You might as well just
there's
give.
only No, 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 no. You can't be sellers. No, no matter what happens between now and the trade deadline, you cannot become sellers.
I'm not saying we will, but I mean this is a nutting thing. Or it's going to be like Madden said, and they're going to keep us interested, not going to make any moves, send people down, send people back up to make it sound like they're doing shit, and then make it sound like it's interesting. And then at 75 wins, they're going to shut down Skeens and Falter and let them just sit because they don't want to see them hit their innings.
Well,
I've
I
seen it.
think they're being I think they're being very smart with Skeens, not pushing him too hard. I think they're being very smart. I think that part of it is this a 90 win team this year? No. Are they an 85 win team? Maybe, yeah. It's
That's
very
what I.
possible.
That's
I
what I.
could see them more in that 80 neighborhood. If they finish 500, I'm dancing in the street, and they probably make the playoffs.
We'll see. It's all about that end stretch because I think it's all division games. I didn't look that far, but I think that's the way it lined up.
You're pretty close to right. Let me double check that here, but if I remember correctly, it's there's a
Oh,
couple non-division.
I think 18 of the last
Um,
28 games are all in division.
the the
Or
come
soft.
on, what in the heck? Second half. Here we go. All right, so they close. Actually, their last three games are at New York against the Yankees. September they start at Chicago. They have three in Chicago, four Washington at home, three with Miami at home, three with Kansas City at home. Then four with St. Louis on the road, three with Cincy on the road, three with Milwaukee at home, and then three at Yankee Stadium.
So 10 games are in the final thing. I said 18
Yeah,
again.
I mean they don't have much in terms of division games in September.
And if
Three,
them three final games,
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. Huh?
anything, those three final games in the Bronx are anything meaningful, all we can do is hope that the Yankees clinched and they're not gonna. They're maybe gonna rest their starters.
I'm not afraid of the Yankees. And by the way, it's 13 games, not 10.
Um, the Yankees bats are starting to get a little warm.
Right.
I mean,
Here's what I see. Here's what I see happening in typical Yankee fashion. The Yankees are just like the Cowboys. They get it going in the regular season. They get all the stuff. When they get to the playoffs, they get ready to go and they wet the bed whenever they get to the playoffs. And that's what's going to end up happening here because they're going to come across a Baltimore or a Seattle or a Texas. It's going to be, oh, okay. Or one of these teams coming out of the Central, like a Cleveland, that's going to put guys out there. And Judge and Soto and those guys are going to all watch. They'll all get cold at the same time. They're hot right now at the same time. They'll get cold at the same time, too. And when the top three guys in the batting order go like, I don't know, 2 for 100 in the series, and Giancarlo Stanton strikes out 25 times, it's not going to matter what the pitching does. And I don't know that I trust Heel. I don't know that I trust Stroman. Do I trust Garrett Cole if he's healthy? Sure. I don't know that I trust anybody else in that starting rotation. I don't trust Tyon. Do you?
and what the Yankees? We're talking about the Yankees, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Tyon moved on. But you got Heel, you got Stroman, you got Nestor Cortez, you got Carlos Rodon. Now, Rodon is pitching decent.
Like I
You got
said,
Rodon and Cole.
like all we can do is hope they clinch the division, and they're resting
Yeah.
their starters to play that home game, that home series for the playoffs.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, yeah, and I'm with you there. I'm just foreshadowing. And I
Okay.
think that could start with that Pittsburgh series because they're going to rest their guys. They'll have the playoff spot clinched. Whether they have the division or not, I don't know. Baltimore's probably going to keep their nose in it. But if Pittsburgh at that point, if Pittsburgh is at that point, ride or die, we win 2 out of 3 against the Yankees or we don't make the playoffs. That why not us attitude comes into play.
Right.
But now, my question to the listeners out there and to you, if the Pirates make the playoffs, do people get off of Shelton's back?
They have to.
Hmm?
I would think yes until the following year.
So it's a year by year thing?
It has to be with him.
He took a team that was complete and utter garbage and turns them into a playoff team. It's got to count for something.
Pittsburgh's full of excuses, so they'll probably be like, they only made it because they extended the playoffs.
I don't care how you got there.
I understand that, Rich, but I, I don't really, I don't know. I don't even think of him as a coach. To be honest. It's really difficult for me to think of him as a coach. It just is.
Hmm.
It just is. I have nothing against the guy. I don't know the guy. I just know that sometimes he coaches good and sometimes he coaches really bad. Now is
Well,
he
and
now
I,
being whispered in his ear like I'm hearing you in my ear? Hey, pull this guy now, or bat this guy now. Oh, is he making all the decisions? Is he pulling all the strings? Who knows? This team
I
is
think
so
one of the problems with him, and I promise you, Adam, I think this is one of the problems. He's too much analytics.
and that's exactly the problem. He's not baseball. He's what
Okay, but
baseball
baseball has become analytics. That's the problem.
it's not helping the game. There's too many stats.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but as it sits right now, the managers, and think about this for a minute. What managers are winning World Series around here? Well, let's see. We got Bruce Bochy, we got Dusty Baker, we got Terry Francona. We got okay. And what do all these guys have in common? They're all older than me.
They all know
They're all
baseball.
old school guys that go by their gut and go by trends, and they don't use that much of analytics. These guys that are 100% analytics, including Brett Boone and including Shelton, sorry, they have problems because it's on the field. It's not played on paper. It's played on the field.
Right. You still like look, you could say he hits the ball that way, but what if he hits it the other way?
You play the way the game is supposed to be played. I mean, yes, you can go trends, and trends is what's important. Who gives three craps about the fact that this guy hit the ball over 95 mile an hour 56% of the time to left field? I don't care. Where's he hitting it? Is he hitting it to left? Is he hitting it to center? Is he hitting it to right? Is he hitting it to right center? Where is he hitting it? Let me put my guys there and make the play. Because then you got your pitchers that are so concerned about letting the guy hit it that they're throwing 87 balls. They get 0-2 and walk a guy. How many times have we seen that in throughout major leagues? Because they're trying to be too fine. They're trying to hit that exact spot.
Do you think analytics came
Well,
from the game Indian ball where you had a pick where you hit the ball? You remember playing that game as a kid, Rich?
no, I never did that.
You never played Indian ball?
I don't think I did.
Where you didn't have enough friends on the field? Like you had one outfielder and maybe one infielder and a pitcher and a batter. You were your own
Yeah.
catcher.
Well, no,
You had to pick where you hit the ball.
I played where you picked what, half of the field, yes.
And then
Where like
then to get an out instead of running the bases, so you're not running around like crazy because there's only four of you. You would lay the bat down, and they would throw it from wherever you hit it. And if it hit the bat and bounced up and you caught it, you still batted. If you didn't catch it, you were out.
never heard of this.
Oh yeah, we played all the time as a kid. Oh
Oh no, no. We played half field. Or let's say it was, like you said, 4-on-4, where you had a pitcher, you had your
yeah.
infielder, you had your outfielder, and then you had one person that kind of floated whatever they wanted to do. Usually, you had a second baseman and a first baseman if you were playing left-handed hitter, and again, you were your own catcher. But and if you hit it, if you said you were hitting it to the left side and you hit it to the right side, you're automatically out. You hit it to the right side, you're playing like regular baseball.
Oh, we didn't run. We just played if you hit it. You know,
Oh no, we ran the bases.
here's the bat. Like we only had four people. Like literally four people.
For
We
total?
Yeah. Like every once in a while, we'd have like four people. So
Okay. Yeah, we had enough in the neighborhood. We could play 4-on-4.
usually we
Uh
did. Every once in a while we didn't, and we still wanted to play. So we had to come up with a game.
yeah. Yeah, sometimes we got lucky and played 5-on-5, but most of the time with the kids we had in the neighborhood, we could go 4-on-4. By the way, the breaking news, Shohei Ohtani hit a home run. Um
I got him in DFS tonight. So keep
yeah,
going.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Looks like your Mavs are about to go down 3-0.
Yeah, I know.
I
Thank
didn't
you,
know.
Kyrie Irving.
Um,
Don't even get me started on Kyrie Irving. Oh my gosh.
I don't understand this guy at all.
I could do a whole other 45 minutes on. I did shows on Kyrie Irving, entire 2-hour shows on Kyrie. No, don't.
Okay, just like leave Rich alone with Kyrie Irving, and that's good.
Him and Rajon Rondo, man. Good grief,
So
those
Rich, I
guys.
have not had a chance to ask you what are your thoughts on all this Caitlin Clark stuff, or haven't you really been? I know you've been paying attention. You're a sports guy. Whether or not you want to
Yeah.
talk, about it, totally up to you. I don't really care. I would
No,
just
no,
say
no, no, no. I'm good talking about it. I when you look at her being on the U.S. team, you have to look at it like you do any all-star team, okay? If you put Caitlin Clark on this team, who are you taking off?
she's now an all.
Are you taking Asia Wilson off of there? Are you taking Sabrina Ionescu? Who are you taking off of this team to put Caitlin Clark on it? So I think that the roster, the way it sits right now, is fine.
They're 70-3. I don't think it really matters who's on this team or not.
Right, but it's the Olympic team. It's the pride of playing for your country and that kind of stuff. And I get that. And Caitlin Clark's got plenty of time to
Yeah,
play on
and
that team
that's
because
what
I can promise you there's one person on that team that ain't going to be there next Olympics, and that's Diana Taurasi.
you remember they said that about Derek Rose too. He'll be there next
Oh,
time.
but yeah, but
Yeah,
Diana Taurasi's going to be like 64 next Olympics.
right, but guess who never played in the Olympics? Derek Rose.
I
Because
never
yeah, I'm just saying.
once Derek Rose got hurt, I never thought he was that good.
Right, but you just said there's going to be plenty of Olympics.
True, but
The way this WNBA is treating her, she might not be around. All these
well,
all these.
I think it's a case. All she's got to do, and I firmly believe this, all she's got to do is one time, defend herself. I don't care if she gets suspended for 10 games or not. girl throws a shot like that gal from, what was it, Chicago, threw that shoulder into her,
I don't even know her name.
I
Sender.
get back up and I put one right between her eyes.
Yeah,
I
Even Sidney Crosby started standing up for himself later in his career. But I
Well,
mean,
and I mean,
time was
people like Brittany Griner are standing up for her and that kind of thing. And I've known Brittany Griner a long time. She played here at Baylor. I knew Brittany when she played in college, and she's standing up for. And I promise you, all that Caitlin Clark would have to do is ball up her fist or take her elbow one time and crack a girl like that right across the bridge of the nose. I understand she would get suspended and she would get fined, and she would have everybody in the world behind her. She'd be there would be those free Caitlin posters running around, and there'd be that road games. They'd be screaming for Caitlin to come out and that kind of deal.
right.
But that's what she may have to do to be like, all right, guys, fine. You want to play this game? That's all right. Whack one time.
One
It'll
time, but
never happen again.
one time. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Now, do I think she's very good? Absolutely. Do I think she's very good for the game? Look at the people that are showing up for these games, man. They've got a 156% increase of sellouts over last year already. They've
But
increased last year's sellout number league wide by 156% already. And the season's not even half over.
and they're saying Creighton Clark's not the reason. Did you read that? I started laughing. I don't care.
I saw that and I had to laugh.
Yeah, I laughed too because they're girls though. They want all the attention. I get it. I get it.
I do too, but hey, check this out. How many games has Caitlin Clark played? And how many times have those games been sold out?
What are we
Thank
up?
you.
15 games right now, maybe
And
more.
every one of them's been sold out. They've had to move games from the normal arenas to the NBA arenas, including when they're playing Dallas. They're moving from UTA to the AAC
So my question:
because they.
do they have the floor, or do they play on the Mavs floor? Do they play on I'm sure they don't have the hardwood to change the floor.
Oh, I'm sure they could just take the floor from UTA over to American Airlines Center.
That seems like a lot of freaking work.
The money you're going to make by selling 17,000 tickets, it's worth it.
I get it. I get it. I get it. I was just wondering. I don't have any basketball within 130 miles from me.
I understand. When I was real little, when I was in Pittsburgh, I mean, I started following the Cavaliers because we picked up WUAB on the Rabbit Ears. And I mean, that was when you had Mark Price and Brad Doherty and guys like that playing for the Cavaliers, not the LeBron James Cavaliers.
I have a Mark Price jersey somewhere.
But
The white with
you know,
blue caps,
for
orange V,
nice,
and then the blue
yeah,
lettering. I think that's the way it looked.
that's cool.
I
For
love it.
someone to be ignorant and I'm going to come out and say it, stupid enough to say, well, the immediate success, this massive success and massive rush of attendance to the WNBA has nothing to do with Caitlin Clark. You've lost your blooming mind. Now, does it make a difference that you've got Angel Reese and some other folks out there? Yes. Is it going to? I really think that you're going to end up, and I know I'm going way out on a limb with this, but if they stay healthy, if they perform the way that they can, and I think they will, you might be looking at a women's version of Bird Magic with Reese and Clark.
It was a good college rivalry.
I mean, those two ladies can really play the game. They've got great personalities. Angel Reese does not mind being a heel. She's got WWE heel written all over her, or professional wrestling heel. Forget being WWE. Professional wrestling heel written all over her, and she doesn't mind playing that bit. Caitlin Clark is the fan favorite, no questions asked. And, just like with Bird and Magic, Magic was the guy from the big city and all that kind of stuff. And Bird was the guy, the hick from French Lick, small town guy, and one of the best rivalries in the history of basketball. So,
Sure. It was. It was. I didn't watch a lot of basketball as a kid, but I heard about it. I played the video game, Magic, Bird, and then
Bird Magic was special, man. And it wasn't just because of those guys, the teams around them were
yep, yeah,
freaking phenomenal, man. I mean, when you got Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Jamal Wilkes, Norm Nixon, Byron Scott, guys like that, and then you turn around and you got Bird and McHale and Parrish and Dennis Johnson and Bill Walton. Rest in peace, Bill Walton. Um,
speaking of that, we lost another legend today too, huh?
what's
Jerry,
that?
Jerry West passed away today.
Jerry West, the logo, the
Yeah,
guy who is the logo.
I wasn't ready to see it
Um,
today when I saw it. I was like, "What?
you know where Jerry West is from?
No!" I imagine you're going to say Pittsburgh with the way you said that.
West West Virginia, about 45 minutes from Pittsburgh.
I'm
I
in
don't
West.
remember the name of the small town, but yeah.
I'm in West Virginia right now.
Yeah, small town West Virginia. Um,
Well, now I'm curious.
yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
All right, go ahead. For some reason, you are quicker than me, and I don't get it.
It's Chelyan, Chelyan.
I don't even know where that is. Sounds like it's down by Charlotte.
Uh, according to this, it's off 64. Well, scratch that. Hold on. Did it. I'm sure my mom would know exactly where it is because my uncle went to WVU. Oh, come on. Chelian is a little bit northwest of Dry Branch, southeast of Dickinson, between 60 and 64. Is that helping you at all?
No,
According to this, it's about 40 miles southeast of Charleston.
so I was correct. It was by Charlotte.
Yeah, it's about 40 miles southeast of Charleston between I 64 and Highway 60.
See, look, we're all going to learn something today.
There you go.
Oh, he's down by the New River Gorge.
Well, I know there was a talk a while back,
That's a
right
good.
after Kobe passed away, about changing the logo and turning it to Kobe. Um, and I'm glad the NBA didn't do that. I mean, they named if I remember right, it's what the Finals MVP trophy is Kobe now. Um, but I'm glad they didn't change the logo. I mean, that's a that's an iconic logo that's been around for 70 years, 60 years.
I have no idea. Well, Rich, they're making a game of it. They're coming back down 7. 8 minutes.
Sounds like the Mavericks.
6 minutes left.
As long as you got Luca on the floor, you got a shot.
Right. Sure
Because
do.
he can go out there, he could drain 5 threes in 45 seconds and turn a deficit into a lead.
We'll see what happens. Got about what 6 minutes left. Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah, it looks that way. In fact,
You're putting it on.
while we're talking. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. The way that going back to the Caitlin Clark thing. I mean, it, it's it's crazy that they've struggled all this time to really get their footing, and you hear them talking. You hear people talking about, well, they should be getting paid like the men do in the NBA. What? No, wait, time out. No. When they start generating the kind of revenue, yeah. By the way, Mavs down 4 now. 6:11 left. But when they start generating the kind of revenue that the NBA players do, then they can start talking about making those kind of salaries.
Right. What are they gonna do? Steal money like the USA women's soccer team?
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, WNBA is selling a crap ton of Caitlin Clark jerseys and Angel Reese jerseys and that kind of stuff. And they're selling a ton of seats. They're putting a butt every 18 inches every place that girl goes.
Right. But I'm excited.
So
Um, you know, I
I
like.
would be very interested to see what the revenue figures are for the year for the WNBA.
Well, I'm sure we'll look into that once we get there. A lot of people are also saying now that the women shouldn't jump like 2 weeks after the draft straight into gameplay. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that.
They should take like
Huh?
what the NBA does and go through summer league and then have women's NBA whenever NBA starts. Yeah. Oh yeah. I read that. I read that. Yeah. I didn't. I was like,
People have lost their minds.
okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and go head to head with the most popular monster in basketball. Yeah, let's just go head to head. That would be like the USFL playing on Sunday afternoons during the NFL season. You'd have a snowball's chance of hell of getting anything done.
They did try that in the '80s, Rich, if you remember.
I understand this. But what I'm saying is, I mean, come on. What kind? Yeah, let's go ahead and just play right up against the NBA. They'll be playing in front of family and friends at best. You'll be able to count the crowd.
Right. It's gonna look like the Oakland Coliseum.
We're going to take attendance. All right, everybody, number off, starting over here. Start with number 1. Go ahead. By the time they get to about 40, they stop.
Yeah, I didn't. I,
Eh,
I I didn't understand that at all. But that's what they were talking about. Stupid shit.
I have come to the conclusion, and I know it's an accurate conclusion. I have come to the conclusion that a lot of people say stuff and put stuff on social media and put stuff in on the internet just simply to get attention,
Clickbait.
because it would be the absolute most asinine thing, the most idiotic thing that could possibly be said. And they say it just to get a reaction from people.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't get it.
Clickbait.
There you go. By the way, we're down to 3 now, and Dallas has the ball. 5 minutes left.
I mean, if they win this one, we can maybe make a series.
Oh yeah, because they've got this one. They've got the next 2 at home.
Right.
So
If
yeah.
they go down 3-0, it's eggshell.
Oh, they go down 3-0. They're toast.
They might win game 4, but they ain't winning game 5.
They might win 4 and 5. They ain't winning 4 in a row. They're no way. You can just kiss that one goodbye. In fact, to be honest, if they lose this one, they may just get swept. Um, and I mean, Grant, this is the first time they've been in the finals since 16.
That was with Dirk.
Um, and boy, they're letting these guys dance underneath. I mean, they're do-si doing, hooking each other, trying to get around each other. It's and it's good when they let them play. I don't know about you.
I like watching them.
Football Well, football or basketball, either one. If it's a foul in the first quarter, it's a foul in the fourth quarter, in my eyes. These morons that come across and say, well, we got to swallow the whistle with a minute left in the game. Why? You?
Maybe they want to get out of there.
Their dinner reservation can
No,
wait.
I never understood why they feel they should bring out the whistle in the fourth quarter and keep it locked away for the first three. I never understand referees. It's kind of like Angel Hernandez. What are you gonna get?
Well, and that's one of the things I know I've mentioned before. My son-in-law umpires. I umpired for a long time and that kind of thing. And it's black and white. Literally, it's black and white. Home plate is black and white. Safe out is black and white. It's not subjective, but if it's a strike now, it's a strike in the first inning, it's a strike in the fifth inning, it's a strike in the ninth inning. And particularly in the NFL and and I'm sorry, in football, as I see it from the high school level up. And in basketball, it just seems like the last 2 minutes of a game, the rules change.
It's so weird.
And I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I keep looking at my computer screen, Rich, and you're not there. Keep forgetting I'm on this goofy ass. Nope. I usually have it on my big screen TV, but obviously we're not there tonight.
Gotcha.
Actually, I could put my HDMI wire in this. I could probably put it on the main screen.
Oh man.
Now what?
2 fouls in a row on Luka. And I mean, granted, the one was completely ridiculous, and they just called him for a block that was a 100% charge.
They don't get the challenge, do they?
Not on a charge, no. I don't think so, anyway. Well, maybe they do. Yeah, they are. They're challenging it. Mavs are challenging it. And I think it's right. I mean, you could see Luka's in position. Jaylen Brown comes at him and almost hooks him this way to go around him, and they blow the whistle.
No, the whistle's coming out like crazy.
Well, they got like 4 minutes left, so. But
Oh man. Pirates ended up losing 4-2 tonight. I did see that.
they did. So they're now at the back of that pack that's separated by a half game instead of the front of it. But 2:15 tomorrow, first pitch.
I do believe that's what I saw.
I believe Keller's pitching tomorrow.
You looking it up too?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Keller against Lynn tomorrow.
Jeez.
Yep.
Who the hell is this guy?
I mean, you can't really complain. Keller's 8-3 with a 3.16 ERA. I'll take that all day, every day. Because I mean that paces him out to about 18 wins. I'm not going to complain about that. And if he carries a 3 ERA, okay.
Okay, so Rich, you said you weren't scared of these boys, but Jose Trevino hit one, Gleyber Torres hit one, and Geno Stanton hit one, and it's 11-5 in the top of the number.
Okay.
Royals.
Who are they playing?
The Royals, who are way better than the Pirates.
Way better than the Pirates?
Well,
I don't know about that.
according to the record, They're over
According to
500,
what?
according to the record. They're over
Well, but
500.
okay, they've played different competition too. I mean, the Royals are a decent team. They've got a couple of pitchers. Um, but
Singer,
once you get past Cole Reagans and
singer,
oh, what the heck is his name?
singer.
Seth Lugo, you know,
I think
then it's
Lugo.
you and me.
I think Lugo was on the hill tonight. No, not even close. Dan Altavilla was on the hill tonight. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 3 hits, 5 earned,
Mm.
and he
That
went .1 of an inning.
geez. Foul stands, Luca fouls out. First time in his playoff career, Lucas fouled out. So now, guess who it depends on?
Mr. Clutch.
Mm, yeah. What's his character in those commercials? Uncle Drew or whatever?
Well, here's a shocker: the Angels are beating the living crap out of the Diamondbacks.
I tell you what, man. The the Angels have got some young talent. They really do. I like some of those guys. You know, Logan O'Hoppe, I think, is going to be a really good catcher. I like Joe Adele. Um, Luis Rengifo is a really solid ball player.
To let you know,
And
Adele hit a home run tonight.
who's that?
Adele,
Okay.
he had a 3-run
And
bomb.
then
Looks like
they got a catcher. I can't think of or a first baseman. I can't think of the pronunciation. It's like Schnaul, something like that. Schnauel, um, who is a really good first baseman and hits the ball pretty decent. But
looks like they got a pretty good young shortstop on their way up there, coming out. Zach Nito.
yeah, he's spent some time on the major league roster. Zach Neto is a good ball player too.
Oh, he's
They got Rendon, who's on the IL, who has been a complete waste since he came over there. But I mean, Wash could do something. Ron Washington, their manager, who by the way took the Rangers to 2 World Series in 2010 and 2011.
yes, he did.
Um, Wash can coach, and he coaches fundamentals. That's the biggest thing he preaches is fundamentals.
Nito
I
has
mean, are
been
they going to
he's been around
do
the
what?
block. Nito's been around the block. And quarter like he looks like he's bounced a lot of double A, triple A, but he might be a homegrown player like we were talking about
Well,
from a
if I
game.
remember right, he's like 26, 27,
Nito's only 23.
23.
Yeah, the
Younger than I
Adele
thought.
guy is
Okay.
26. 25.
25. Okay.
Yeah. I only know
But
this
yeah,
because they're young
it,
players.
yeah, I mean that's what the Angels got. I mean, outside of Trout and Rendon, who right now are both hurt, the Angels are pretty loaded with young guys.
Nolan Schammel,
So
their first baseman, that's the guy you were talking about.
that's the guy I was talking about. He plays an excellent defensive first base. Excellent defensive first base. He hits okay. I don't know that he is hitting where he should be, but I don't know that Wash has a true leadoff guy because he's hitting this Schnool or whatever. He's hitting him leadoff a lot.
He's
I'm
only
not sure that he's a true leadoff guy.
he's only 22.
Yeah,
But other
yeah.
than that, it looks like those three are the three youngest. And then it goes to 20, 28, 29, 35. Kevin Pillar, obviously, 35.
How old's O'Hoppe?
Who?
Logan O'Hoppe. He's our catcher.
He's not catching.
He can't. He can't be that old.
Cease is catching tonight.
Well, their normal starter is a guy named Logan O'Hoppe.
Don't know. Don't know. Great. Now that Luke gets found out, great.
And
Well, if anything, that means Lively's going to have to do something.
well, yeah, Hardaway Jr., PJ Washington, that was nice. Derek Lively did a real nice job right there. They're within 2. I mean, there's a minute 20 left. Mavericks are down 2. Logan O'Hoppe's 24.
Okay.
24-year-old catcher. And I honestly completely forgot about this guy, but Mickey Moniak, who's a former number 1 overall pick, really good defensively. He just can't hit for nothing. And they've picked up a couple veterans in Los Angeles. Like they picked up. How did I forget about Taylor Ward? Good grief, Taylor Ward's probably their all-star this year. He's their left fielder.
I think he's got the night off. That's why we didn't think about him.
But yeah, I mean, this kid. I mean, he's another one. He's got 12 bombs already. But yeah, I mean, they've got a couple of veteran guys. They picked up Kevin Pillar, who's won a few things. They picked up Matt Moore. Rosny Contreras is on, and then Willie Calhoun's also on the team. So, I don't think they're a contender this year, but you never know. With the way things are playing out right now, it's kind of weird because you only have 10 teams in Major League Baseball that are over 500. I still can't figure that part out.
No, this is one of those mysteries.
Well, you've got really good record teams and then below 500 because you got, I mean, the Dodgers are way over 500. The Yankees are way over. The Phillies are way over. The Braves, the Orioles, and they're way over. I think that's kind of skewing the curve a little bit.
Yeah, how good are these Braves without Acuna?
Well, without Acuna, without Strider, so you have your best offensive threat and your ace both out.
For the season.
Yeah, for the year.
Braves are good at homegrown. But
I mean,
Boston's probably going, why didn't we get this Chris Sale?
why didn't we get what?
This Chris Sale. The non-injured
Yeah.
Sale. Where was this
Well, but we also know Chris Sale is one pitch away from, being a medical experiment again.
Get it, but let's not look at that.
Right. But I mean, and I like Chris Sale. I mean, I thought he was good with the White Sox. I thought he was good with the Red Sox.
Injuries.
Yeah. But I mean, when you look at I'm looking at this Braves team and I'm going,
Still dangerous.
even with
Awesome. Michael Harris bats up first. Then it goes Ozzy, then it goes Riley, then it goes Ozuna or Olson. You can mix and match those two.
Yeah.
And you got not Swansby, but you have our Darno.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have
Arcia.
Garcia, yes, Garcia. And then who am I missing?
Let's see. You got Olson at first, Albies at second, Arcia at short, Riley at third. Jason Kelnick, Jared Kelnick in left, Harris in center.
So you bat in 6 and drop Denard in the 8 or 7 spot.
Yeah. And then whoever in right and Osuna as your DH.
Well,
Probably your right fielder right now is probably Adam Duvall, maybe.
Ball, you got Harris still. I think they have the ball playing DH actually lately.
Oh, then they must be putting Ozuna in the outfield. That's a that's a dangerous trail to walk on. So 14.6 seconds left. Mavericks down 7.
Boy, that escalated fast.
Yeah. Yeah. So Mavericks are going to go down 3-0. We'll see what
They
happens on Friday.
they at least win one.
I hope, but I don't know. I'll be interested to hear the press conference after this because I mean, I saw at least 3 questionable fouls in the last 4 minutes of this game.
Right?
2 of them on Luka.
I didn't see any of it. I was just listening to your play-by-play.
Well, it's been a while since I've done basketball
Called
play-by-play.
basketball game once. Um, it was for like this ABA league around here. I did get to call it. That was entertaining. I've never called a basketball game before. That was
Oh
fun.
wow!
I didn't know any of the players. I had to study them like crazy. Um, so yeah, that was entertaining.
I bet it was. I bet
We
that
had
was fun.
we had fun. That's all that counted. We used to
Yeah,
we used to work. We used to, like I said, we used to broadcast out of the back of a pickup truck if we had to.
I've never had to do that, but
But
I've
that was
I've
fun.
had to broadcast. I've done broadcasts in some interesting places. I've been on top of the I've been on top of the press box. Try that one. Um, no walls, literally on the roof of the press box. Um, done
Why?
that before.
Was the
Done.
box full
I've
or
done the
what?
corner of the end zone. Huh?
Was the real press box full?
Yeah. I've done the corner of the end zone. I've done a ton of games from the bleachers. Um, I did one watching the game by video. I was using the video feed from the coaches, from the coaches' cameras, and I was calling the game off of that. That was tough.
That's what they did during COVID.
Well, see, I was there. I was in the stadium. I was there wasn't anybody in the bleachers, but I was in the press box during COVID,
Right, but I mean,
especially for my
remember Major League Baseball was doing that.
right, right. But when I did my stuff for football, there was nobody in the stands, but and I had my own little room that they had me separated from the PA people and all that kind of stuff. So I had my own little room that was probably shoot, I don't know, 8 by 8 that I could just shut the door and I didn't even have, I guarantee you my mask wasn't on. Had the window wide open and let's rock and roll, man.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not getting into COVID, but I didn't wear my mask at all. I worked every day, no mask. I was fine.
We didn't wear them at the radio station. Me and BJ didn't wear them at the station at all. If I went to an event that I had to wear it, all right, I had one, but yeah, so and it only got me whenever I got laid up with cellulitis in my leg. I got laid up. They said for me to be off my feet for 2 weeks and not doing anything. Apparently, this is my wife's theory. Not doing anything for the 2 weeks got me, and I started getting sick, and it just kind of snowballed from there, and I got the double whammy with pneumonia and COVID, and then 36 days later, I wake up. Um, so the good thing is I
But you go,
kicked out. Yeah. Because I tell people all the time, I have a 36-day gap in my life. You could say I was dancing in my underwear on I-35, and I couldn't tell you I didn't. Because there's no memories. There's no nothing. It's just blank. A lot of people ask, what'd you dream about, or did you see the light, that kind of stuff. Nothing. Just an empty
you woke
six,
up.
5.5, 6 week gap.
You woke up and thought the next day was Thursday.
I woke up and wondered, where in the hell am I? Because I had all kind of tubes and stuff in me, and I woke up, and when I opened my eyes, I had a trach tube in, so I couldn't talk. But I wake up, I open my eyes, and I see my wife, and I see doctors and nurses and all this other stuff, and I'm like, "The hell's going on here?" I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Had no clue.
Time did you think about just ripping the tube out?
No,
I was just wondering. Like that would have been like my first thought. Like, get this.
no, never did. My biggest thing was just trying to be able to communicate, because I couldn't move. I mean, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. So literally, I'm paralyzed from the neck down. So I mean, blinking is my thing, and moving my lips as best I can with the trach in my mouth. So it was very difficult, and I was trying to even whenever they still had the deal in here, I was trying to lip, and I thought I was doing this. And my wife said I was going like it was like I was going 100 miles an hour when I was trying to lip things to her, so she couldn't catch it, and she was getting frustrated about it. And she's like, "Slow down, slow down, slow down." And I'm thinking I'm going slow already, you know. Um, but yeah, I mean, I had to relearn pretty much everything motor skill wise. I mean, how to pick up a spoon and all that kind of stuff, and how to feed myself, how to do everything, literally everything. So I highly discourage it. If you ever get the chance to do it, don't.
I didn't really plan on it.
I mean,
being,
it's
honest, being honest, Rich, I'm glad you're still with us today, though.
oh yeah. I mean, I got too much stuff to do, man. That's what I tell people all the time. I got too much stuff to get done.
I
I still got 3 more daughters I got to walk down an aisle, maybe with a walker, but by God, I'll do it. Hope this neuropathy at some point is going to go away and my feet are going to get back to normal. Not sure when. When the right time comes, that's cool. I'm down with it. I'm playing the hand I'm dealt until it happens.
right.
Um, but you know, it's just one of those. You play the hand that you got, and hopefully you can, you know, help people in the process. But
I'm doing that in dynasty football right now. I picked up a team that someone got rid of, and this guy left it a nightmare.
ugh.
I'm trying to pick
we
up.
do need
I'm trying to
we
pick up pieces.
we do need to do that that thing we were talking about a little while back. We haven't said it over the air yet, so I don't really want to say it yet. But
Right.
the fantasy football we talked about off the air, we need to do that.
Mention it in the group chat.
I will. I definitely will.
Mention it to all the
I
guys.
definitely will.
Is it coming from me? It might be better coming from you. People might be like, "Oh, okay." So I'm all about it.
Well,
I'm all about having a little fun league, whatever.
yeah, yeah, and it's geared to help people. So
And, and if
we'll
you
talk about it.
and if you think I'm not going to get someone for the following year that says I'm the worst fantasy football player, you're wrong. the little whatever they call it, they wear over their chest,
Oh, the sash.
or that might get the vest. The vest is funny too.
I had 1 year, and it was partially because I could not stop getting guys hurt, and I lost 6 games by less than 5 points.
Oh, that's a
I
nightmare.
went 0-12 one year.
Oh my god.
And I had a good draft, but I had God and everybody getting hurt. And I think at one point my entire starting lineup was hurt. And I was playing all my backups. It just didn't matter. I could have played Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, and Bo Jackson, and it wouldn't have mattered.
I don't remember my original team, Rich, but I had Daniel Jones and Bryce Young. That was this guy's starting quarterback.
Mm.
I traded them both. Now I only have one
Uh,
starter in a two-starter league. That was my fault, but I couldn't stand either one of those guys.
Aiden O'Connell.
I admit I traded for Jordan Love though,
That's solid.
and I have A Chain. I have Zach Moss, Austin Eckler. Um, I'm just gonna name some other
I
guys.
don't know what Eckler's going to do this year.
I traded for Drake London. I traded for Christian Watson. I traded for Michael Pittman. I think my wide receiver core is pretty good.
Yeah, and Pittman should have a better year this year if Richardson stays healthy.
No depth. Any of these guys get hurt, I'm screwed.
Well, no, I'm not looking at Pittman getting hurt. I'm looking at if his quarterback goes down again because
No,
he doesn't have Minshew as a backup.
I'm just saying, like I have no backup, no depth at all.
Yeah.
I have Romeo Dobbs and the Wilson kid who just got drafted by Philly, and then I have the Johnson kid drafted by the Chargers, which has a good chance he might start.
Oh, Quentin Johnson?
Yeah, no, the other guy, Crit C Johnson.
Oh.
I think he's
I was
got
going
a
to say, if you got Quentin Johnson, yes, he is going to start. He's not going to have a choice.
Johnson. He's 6'3", 208, playing for his college coach.
Uh-oh, we might have an issue.
What happened?
Um, Dave Roberts is walking out to the mound with the trainer to come see Mr. Bueller.
Uh oh. Uh-oh.
Walker Bueller was hurt all year last year. It was what, Tommy John or rotator cuff, one or the other. Looks like they're going back in the dugout though. They must have seen something though. You don't have the manager come out in the fourth inning with the trainer with one out and a 1-0 count on a hitter and not think there's something. So, but
He's the
and
best
we've
player.
gone all over the gambit again tonight, man.
Yeah, exactly. It happens. I think we're kind of we set something up and then nothing. Then we cover the basics and get out.
Yep. In fact, I think we've set a record tonight.
Really?
We cracked the 2 hour mark.
Yes, we did. 203. Well, I'm not a multimillionaire tonight. I did not win the basketball.
Mm. Sorry to hear that.
I did win $90 though.
Oh, well, there you go.
No, I'm still I put in 117.
Oh,
But I didn't lose it all, right?
right, right.
So Jason out there in LA right now. Well, he's in Fresno. He hopped a little on the mound. That looked awkward. Apparently, that's what happened.
Yeah. Oh. I mean, realistically, he's their ace. So, they definitely got to make sure he's good to go.
Right.
But yeah, as it sits right now, National League comes down to the Dodgers and the Phillies.
We say that all the
Everybody else, huh?
we say that all the time. That seems to be the hot topic for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But it should be.
Well,
They put a lot of money into their shit.
but remember, it wasn't Philly. It was always the Dodgers and the Braves. but I have a hard time, even with the batting order that they have. I just have a hard time seeing the Braves being in that top two with no Acuna and no Strider, unless, and this is a possibility, unless they make one heck of a move to bring in a starting pitcher, a top notch starting pitcher for the stretch run. They could do that. They could go out and get maybe, shoot, I don't know. I'm just throwing names, but maybe San Diego was willing to get rid of Dylan Cease, or
Dude, San Diego
maybe a
pitcher and King.
hmm?
King for the Padres is pretty damn good.
He is. He is. The Angels really don't have anybody to dump. Just trying to think of teams that could dump. Colorado may dump Gomber. Um, he's decent. He's definitely not a top of the line starter, but um, I think that you're going to end up with that. I think if the Braves will make a move, do they make one for a top line guy? It's going to depend on if one's available. Um, Trying to think of who they would. There's nobody with the Mets. Um, Kind of going division by division and trying to figure out if there's anybody. I mean, the Central, everybody's still in the race, so nobody's going to be selling there. Um, Arizona's not going to dump Gallen or Merrill Kelly, and Jordan Montgomery has been a dumpster fire. Serves him right for turning the Rangers down. Um, I mean,
I get you.
National League, you got Gomber, or American League, you got what? Houston is.
Yeah,
Angels really don't have anybody.
up and down. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
you figure Valdez would have won today against the Giants. That he
yeah,
got rocked.
really about. I'm just thinking about teams that are on the outside looking in. Probably the best pitcher I can come up with is Chris Bassett from Toronto. That the Braves could make a move for. That would be a front line guy. That's a one or a two. Um, I don't know.
I would.
So
Yeah, Toronto. That's another one of those teams. You think they're
yeah,
gonna be good, and then they just nothing. Absolutely nothing.
yeah. But
Well,
anyway,
Ray,
man.
um, we've hit the 2 hour mark. Obviously, you brought that up already. And what are we gonna talk about next week?
Man,
Oh,
we
yeah.
got there. I think we're going to have a lot of cool stuff to talk about. The Pirates will have finished off this series with St. Louis. They've got their next series coming up, so we'll have a chance to talk about that kind of stuff. All-Star game right around the corner. Um, maybe get into some more hot stove kind of stuff for the trade deadline. Um, there's a lot of stuff to get into out there. I'm also kind of curious to see what kind of progression Jones and Skeens make over these next several starts. Are they, like you said, are they kind of gonna reel in the reins a little bit to prevent an innings pile up, or are they just gonna let these guys go? I'm curious to see that and see what's gonna happen. I think we'll talk about that, man. And I'll tell you what, definitely viewer mail. Hopefully we get some viewer mail. Hopefully we get some questions from the folks that are checking out the podcast, and hit us up here, shoot us questions and um, fire away, man.
Right. It's always good to get fan mail. Once again, you can find us on Driving to the Top Productions on YouTube. Like, subscribe. Um, Rich doesn't share his show on the live feed. I don't know if he knows how to do that or not.
That would be because I don't know how to.
Oh,
You'll
yeah.
have to show me how to do that.
I don't even know because I always just click the buttons. But apparently, before you log in, there is a way for you to sign up with up to 2 shows. You could do your Facebook and your Twitter, and
Okay.
put them on the link, and then we'll be able to have it on out to your viewers as well.
I will have to look into that for the next show then.
I, yeah, I
Is
just
that
don't
maybe what this box is that says stream this to your audience?
that's probably what that box is.
Now that I'm sitting here looking at it like a dope, add a destination,
Yeah, eventually, Rich.
Facebook page. Okay.
Eventually, Rich,
Well,
you're not gonna have to. You will be into the background, and you'll be able to log in, and you know we can. I think you'd be better logged in because you probably like to. I'll show you. It's the back end of StreamYard. I got to get there. I still have to talk to Jamie and get his email and stuff, and get him off of the one that I want to use that you guys can use for not everyday guys like Jamie needs it obviously because he runs his show. But I want to have one open for the back guys that don't always get to the back of the show. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But anyway, Rich, how do people find you?
You can hit me on Twitter at Go Big Go Home Pod. Email me. Hey, if you want to drop one to me, tell me I'm an idiot. Tell me my opinion's stupid, or if you want to tell me you agree with me, either way. RWR8371 at Gmail. Or hit me up on Facebook with my name, Rich Richardson.
All right. Like I said earlier, driving to the top productions. We're growing. We're getting there. We're doing things. We're trying to do things anyway. Just going, whatever. We're leading the way. No, we're getting there though. You can find me at Sports Talking It on the X. I'm on a different computer. I am so thrown off. Sorry. I am just. Oh my gosh.
Happens to the best of us, man.
Right? Because I want to just look at I want to look at my TV screen, not this little Chromebook screen.
I
That's why
got
I'm
you.
so off tonight. That's why I am thrown off all night tonight. So that's don't bother me. Um. Anyway, Sports Talking It on Twitter, Driving to the Top Productions on Twitter as well. 412 chat on Twitter as well. You can find us there. Yeah, drop questions, guys. Get it out there. Let's go. Let's get it rolling. I want to thank the people viewing in that are still here. I know it's been 2 hours, and sometimes it's hard to watch a 2 hour podcast. I get it, but I thank the people that have lasted this long. And everybody, have a good evening.
See you later.